All right, easy. I'm gonna try to one take this video, so if I make any mistakes, oh well. So in this, I'm just really kind of going over how I collected 230K cash collected in a week as a closer, right? And so the basic premise of this, guys, is like I'm not some crazy like sales guy. I'm not Matt Ryder. I'm not Jeremy Miner. I don't have the best objection handling. I know how to objection handle, of course. I have a damn good sales process in terms of what I take a prospect or a client through in terms of a sales call. Um, but the overall premise of this is there were some other levers that were pulled in order for me to make over $23,000 in commissions off of 230K cash collected in a week, right? So just a little bit of background. What we overall did as a team: $813,000 cash collected. You see some of the expenses, revenue after expenses, and then the individual mentor share. Shorty, me, $225,227 cash collected, commissions 22K. Overall, between all the closers, it's over $60,000 in commissions in a week. And I'll kind of break down my overall comp and my structure in terms of what I got in commissions, just to show you guys like what is truly possible, really in the info space right now. If you're doing this correctly and you have a great sales process like we do, um, there's unlimited money to be made. Like this overall industry, like people are saying, it's drying out, or like this isn't going to be around forever. The info product, like sorry to bring it to some of you guys, like this will forever be a thing. Um, and it goes back to the show, like with colleges, right? Like what is college? It is info. You're getting information, then you get a little certificate, you get your cute little piece of paper at the end of it, right? This is the exact same thing, whether you're on an offer for credit repair, business funding, how to launch an Amazon FBA store. Info and overall coaching and consulting has been around since the Aztecs, like since great emperors and kings that would go to other kings and would want to learn how to rule in the way that they do, how to run a government the way that they do, in order to have as much gold to their kingdom as they possibly can. Like, if you guys really look into coaching consulting, it's been around forever and it's not going away anytime soon. So, there's my little tangent. But let's break down the commissions a little bit, right? So my commissions 225,000, 226, 227, whatever, times my 10% commission equals $22,522. Right. I did get $1,000 bonus for the most cash collected, bringing me to 23,522 now. And then here's a big piece, guys, is there's people that paid in full and then there's your payment plan people. So from April 28th to June 28th, it's about 2 months. Payment plans collected additional $60,554 at my 10% commission is additional $6,055 in commissions. As you can see, that brings me to $29,577 off of this one event, right? And just kind of like show you guys some proof. I'm huge on receipts more than anything. You see some of the transactions: 5K, 5K, 3-3, another 3-3-3, 3-3-3. What else we got in here? What else did I put? Another three. What is this one? Another 25, and then another about four, right? So I don't know what that is, but it's a good amount, right? So let's just break this down, right? Who's this wannabe guru? This is my first YouTube video, so I already know I'm probably coming at this like another guy in the coaching consulting like space. I don't have anything to sell anybody. I'm actually a closer myself. I mean, I could sell you on my offer, of course, but I don't have my own offer. There's no CTA at the end of this. Um, but overall, right, I've done $3 million cash collected as a closer in the past year and a half. I've been in the high ticket space now, coming up on just about 2 years here in the next few months. I've been in car sales. I actually opened up a car lot here in Oregon, where I'm currently at, with my mom and pop. We opened that, man, years ago, and like that was like I like to tell people, like I was director of sales, right? Or I was the sales manager. Like it was the furthest thing from selling. People would come test drive a car, take a picture of their ID, and then to make sure we're safe if they try to take off the car, and then they bring it back, and I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, do you like it? Yes or no? You want to buy it? Yes or no? If they didn't, I'd be like, all right, have a great day. If they wanted to do it, I'd go back to the office to do paperwork, where I would sit next to my mom the whole time and ask her questions and be like, okay, what do I fill out now? What's the VIN? What's this? So that was like my entry into sales, and then that did prompt me to move down to Arizona, where I was at for the past 5 years. I met my business partner at the time. We opened up a gym, and I would say that that was like my first real essence of sales, right? Like really digging into someone's pain, and getting a feeling of like the customer journey, and like we're spending money on ads. Like you've got to close people, right? Like calling the lead within the first minute after they fill out a form for like our TikTok ads and shit like that. So yeah, we ran that gym up, sold mid-ticket personal training packages, so it was like anywhere from $500 to $2,000 for 16-week challenges, things like that. I still really did not know how to close. Like I would just get lucky. It was a good offer, um, but it wasn't sustainable for that gym, and so we switched off to just subscription only, like your typical EOS, Track Club, self-made, 60, 80, 100, $200 a month, or like if you go to Hive, fucking $1,000 a month. So, but in the overall high ticket space, after that, I jumped over into it. I found a job listing on Upwork. I think it was Upwork, and it was by my old mentor. And he was running a sales agency. Didn't pay him a dime. Got in, learned the game, and got placed on my first offer, which is actually the offer that I'm on now. I had left it back then, but came around full circle back onto the offer that I'm on right now. So primarily biz op offers, fitness offer that everybody knows. I'll just say if you're looking to get shredded, that should be the keyword shred. Was on that. Some random ass offer, like car offer. It was like how to run a car rental business. It was terrible. I was talking to leads that were in India, and they didn't even have a car. So before I go into what this is, and how I was able to do this, I just kind of want to like premise what this wasn't. Traditional, right? You guys are thinking traditional high ticket sales, right? It wasn't taking 8 to 10 calls a day from leads who booked with a setter in the DMs, or they went through a some type of lead magnet, went and watched a VSL, and then they got onto my calendar. I give them a call, blah 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 blah. Right? It wasn't that. It wasn't the typical 45 minutes and 90-minute calls where you're like, if you're a closer, right, you're jumping in the call, you're building rapport. Can you hear me? See me? I can hear you. I can't see you. Jeremy Minor shit. And then diving into, if it's biz op, you want to go goals first, find the emotional logical goal, pivot over what's the pain, and then finding the emotional logical pain. If they don't have pain, it's usually the pain is where they are at now in terms of who their future identity is. All right, like diving into all this stuff, going over doubt, cost support, 10-minute, 3 period pitch, and then battling objections that are just people are scared, right? And it's high ticket, it costs a lot of money. So I get why people are scared. Um, and it certainly wasn't talking to unqualified people. That means like they were people that were aware, and I'll dive into that in a second, but they had the bread and were in the financial position to afford a $10,000 ticket price mentorship. They were in a position where it was credit card or debit card. It wasn't Klarna, Affirm, and all those other things, right? Those things do play a part, and for this event, like we obviously use those because they help out in terms of your like front end cash collected, on that main priority, like front end biz op offer. But a lot of credit card, debit card ready people, people ready to put down bread by any means, right? So to dive in kind of what it was the polar opposite of pretty much everything I said, right? It was taking 30-minute calls on Zoom where needle moving conversations were taking place. What's a needle moving conversation, right? My opinion, it's someone who closes. It's it's either someone who closes, or it is a very, very good conversation that is very transparent and honest, knowing the next steps going into the next meeting or the follow up, so to speak, knowing that on that next call they are going to close. There's no fluff, there's no blubber. Or the next call, we are going to go through some type of financial application page in order so that we can get to the next stages and getting into the mentorship, right? It was closing $10,000 sales in 30 minutes. This was a $10,000 offer that we sold, right? It was leads that knew the financial investment involved before even booking the call, right? How crazy is that? That's something in the whole biz ops space, and like I get it. People are not going to want to hop on a call if they know the price. They're you haven't gotten the chance to dive into their emotional wants and needs and pains, and I'm not gonna hop on a call if I know it's like someone's gonna try to close me for $10,000. Like I don't know what it is. Is it even worth 10,000? Like I can't justify that, right? But that's why we have sales calls, right? And that's why no one puts their offer and their amount of their offer on the front end, right? So this is in this space though, in terms of the vehicle we used to be able to position ourselves to do that was so strong and powerful that people knew the investment, booked a call, and in 30 minutes we were cashing them out, moving them to onboarding. Right. Some of you are probably already picking up on what this is, right? It was calls where leads were eager and desperate to get into the program, practically begging to get in. That's how bad they wanted to do this. Like even for the people that weren't financially qualified, those people found a way. Like even if it was 2K, 3K, 4K, it wasn't the full amount. Like these people were like so desperately wanting to get in because of how well and thoroughly they were serviced and valued, and how they were really served first, then sold. And it really built this type of trust and transparency between both the offer owner, myself, and the prospects or mentees, so to speak. Um, I was only helping people that truly wanted to be helped. It was looking at a packed out calendar from 5 a.m. PST to 9 p.m. PST full of people ready to buy for a full 3 days. The calendars get packed up out more than that, but then you start to see a little bit more blank spots. But those first full 3 days afterwards, you don't have that. It's back to back to back to back call. And I would say that's probably the hardest thing about the running this type of event is having a packed out calendar. I mean, knowing though you're gonna make 20, $30,000, you should even 10, $15,000 is still good money as a closer in a couple days. But it's just knowing like, damn, this is gonna be some work. I'm gonna have to get up early, and from 5 a.m. to 9, I'm gonna be ripping calls. Right. So that I would say is probably the most, oh my gosh, this is so tough about this type of thing. Right. So the biggest question, right? What in sales in the overall info product space would enable us to collect over $800,000 in 1 week? Just to caveat this, like you think about fitness, you think about making money, you think about becoming closer to God, spiritual, like growing more in your spiritual realm, like whatever it is. Like there's things that you want to be, that you want. There's tangible results that you want, right? Now, if I want a decent physique, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to work out for 30, 40 minutes, keep it not light, not heavy, kind of coast it, and I'll get the results that are based off of those efforts. Money wise, I could go get a 9 to 5 and, corporate, something that's chill, do my 8 hours, get a nice little, 1 hour lunch, nice and chill. I'm going to make chill money according to that, right? And the biggest thing is like, in order to achieve substantial results of, there's no other way to say it, right? A fuck ton of money, fu money, so to speak. um a chiseled body, right? A stacked out bank account, a close relationship with God, a close relationship with your partner or your spouse, right? It's doing what others don't do. And it's not because they just choose not to do them, but they know that those things are hard, that most people do not have the skill set nor the capabilities to do them. Right. And that's one of the things that like I'm very blessed about being on this offer is the fact that the offer owner himself takes on the responsibility to learn the skill sets that are very fucking hard to learn. But once you do and you go through that hustle, that grind, that little bit of a down phase, it puts not only himself but the overall team in a position to where we can all eat, we can all make a lot of money, right? And if we are a backpack to that individual, um, there's just great results overall, not just for us but for those that we serve, right? Enough with the ranting. So webinars, right? Webinars, and everybody knows what a webinar is, especially if you're in the high ticket space, you're in the info space, like everybody knows the overall ideology. What is a webinar, right? Being able to hop on an event, a virtual event, you control the time, you can teach, preach, coach as long as you want. And then on the back end, have some type of offer, limited time offer that builds urgency, scarcity, and provokes an emotional appeal for someone to sign up and do business with you at the end of it, right? Quick little thing. These webinars aren't one day long. They aren't a landing page where leads like this is something that I saw. Like someone was talking about webinars the other day. I was watching a YouTube video, and he's like, "Yeah, our webinar is like doing great," and their webinar was doing decent, but it was a pre-recorded webinar, and then afterwards they would book a call. And I'm like, that's just another form of like a VSL, so to speak. Like, and to say that it's a live webinar when it's not, like let's just be transparent with our audience, right? They aren't marketed lightly. We will spend $15,000 to $30,000 on these. So these are only for coaches and consultants that have been in the game for a while, are making good money, and also like aren't scared to invest. And we don't run them every week, right? Also, do not run a webinar if you don't have strong closers. If you don't have closers that are like more hungry or just as hungry and ambitious as you as an offer owner, don't run it. Get some good talent, then go run a webinar. Because at the end of the day, you shouldn't be the one on these calls. Your closers should be. So, how we build webinars for our clients and ourselves, right? So this is just kind of going over like, okay, we don't run a 1 day webinar, and just like our sales calls, like as closers, you're going through multiple stages, right? You're building rapport, you're doing an intro, right? Your intro is building out the laws, the rules of the game that you're about to play with that person. And if they agree to them, then they're playing your game. You're the authority figure. Like you should make that close as long as they're qualified, right? And same thing kind of goes with this is it's a sales process with our webinars where we hit the goals, the pains, we bring out the cost, the doubt, the trust, all kinds of things like that. But we do it over a prolonged period of time, right? What would doing it over a prolonged period of time do for a prospect or do for someone, right? I know for me, it would put me in a position to believe in the offer more, to be exposed to it more, to know if it's for me or not, to see if it's something I'm truly capable of doing, to see if it's something that I'm actually truly inspired and wanting to do, right? And not only that, maybe I'm sold on the overall business model, right? Let's say it's Amazon FBA, but I hop on the webinar and this coach or consultant seems like they know what they're doing, and obviously they're making money, but I'm just not clicking with them. Okay, well, at least I'm sold on the overall business model, but I know maybe this person's not for me, right? Um, so we break that down into 5 days, right? The first little piece of it is very, very important, right? So we're gonna go over garnishing attention and traffic, brought to Sexy Ass landing page, and then corral all leads into a Telegram channel for the 5 day live mentorship. So, right, your typical ways to garnish traffic, your Instagram content, organic. This piece is huge just because like organic content and paid both have their they both have their purposes, right? But organic content, let's say someone comes off a paid ad, right? They're pretty like, okay, like yeah, I like this, but like I just need to see a little bit more. If you don't have the organic content behind it to really showcase who you are, what you do, and who you do it for, click out. I'm gonna keep doom scrolling, right? So run your paid ads, but like the organic content's got to be there, and there needs to be a lot of it. Like post every day, 2 to 3 times a day. Like get out who you are. You don't need all the likes and comments in the world, especially like building out a funnel and an overall sales process in this type of webinar. You don't need that, right? Long and short form YouTube content, highest intent. Obviously, this is the highest intent. YouTube people You got to think who and what kind of people are watching YouTube, right? The people that are ready to sit down and consume a massive amount of information, just like your girl when she goes to watch Love Island, right? She's gonna sit down and watch that thing from minute 0 to minute 59, and then she's probably gonna play another fucking episode, right? So being able to target people on YouTube, it's just smart. And overall, like I don't know why more coaches aren't on YouTube. Obviously, there's a good amount, but really, like I would fixate on YouTube in 2025 and 2026 the most because they're seeing what you do, how you do it over long form content. They're being more exposed to you, but they get to see you, your authenticity, your character, your charisma, and everything like that throughout the video, right? And that's what people need. People are sold off of, they get the features, they like the features, and then they like the outcome or the overall effect of those features, right? What is the outcome of that? And then the feeling of that outcome, right? And so if you're able to kind of follow that process in long form YouTube videos, and overall just all of your sales processes, all of your content, um, it's going to get more people to book and more people interested in things like this, right? We'll speed it up a little bit. Instagram ads, obviously, of course, it just makes sense. You want cold traffic, right? If you can convert cold traffic, and this is the best way to convert cold traffic, hands down. It's not a VSL, it's not booking to a landing page, it's none of that. Instagram ads are still great. Just you got to tweak your sales process and run a webinar like this. Facebook ads, your Instagram stories. Now, touch on Instagram stories real quick, right? Your Instagram story is like a show, right? But it's like a show where you're like, man, I don't want to upgrade this like whatever provider I'm using, so like I'll watch the ads, right? People don't have a choice when they follow you. You can put up ads. Now, it's not an actual ad, right? Your Instagram story is the movie. It's the show. It's what you're doing, how you're moving throughout the day. It's you hitting the gym. It's you eating right. It's you servicing clients. It's you taking calls with clients. And then the break, right, from the show, the commercial, so to speak, is a poll. It's questions. It's leading someone over 3 or 4 or 5 stories, answering questions, and based off that, having then the ultimate commercial, the CTA, right? Something to for them to go book a call, for them to go buy a ticket, for them to learn more about you and your services, right? And I think on a daily basis, your Instagram stories should be built out like that. And then a huge one that we use, right? Borrow use others' audiences. So we do a lot of podcasts, a lot of collabs with other influencers, or I should say, other offer owners that are in the same type of niche as us. IG page shout outs are good, wealth page shout outs, conferences, in person masterminds are great in terms of more exposure to yourself for content, the actual people there, and just getting more people into your overall ecosystem of what you got going, right? And then SMS and email blast to old leads and lead database overall. Doesn't hurt. You get to see, all the people say stop, especially if you're using high level. Get them out of your system. That's a useless lead. And then for the people that click on it, right? These are people that can be retargeted and instead of them going out to die and there's no more value in that lead, so to speak, you could get them into this webinar and allow another shot, right? Another crack at it and see if you can get something out of them and obviously serve them as well. So we use all that. They're brought to the Sexy Ass landing page, right? I don't see anybody in the space that has a good enough, or not a good enough, but a attractive, visually appealing, emotionally tying, strong landing page like we do. I've seen some good ones for sure, but like the one that we've just released is it's insane, right? It look like I said right here, it looks like a trailer to a new movie coming out. Like if it looks like that, yeah, that's what you want. Like you want to look professional, legit. There should be the graphics. There should be the different strokes in the pause. There should be different kinds of elements to the overall landing page, right? Overall, throughout it, 5 to 6 buttons through the landing page that will redirect them to the spot on the landing page that will allow them to purchase a ticket, right? So what we've done is we've taken all this traffic, and we've pushed them in to a landing page. This is seeming pretty normal, right? As for now, in terms of like the typical info space. But from here, they're not booking the call. They're having the ability and the choice to be sold on a 5-day live boot camp, 5-day live mentorship, where I will mentor you for 47, 97, whatever. So they could purchase a 47 general admission ticket or a 97 VIP ticket. Make sure you have a shit ton of testimonials on this. Clients at our mastermind receiving 6 and 7 figure awards. We do hand out awards at our in-person events. So it's like one of those things where people see these and they see our mentees and us handing them awards, and they're seeing the visual title on 6-figure awards, 6 figures in a month, 7 figures in a year, 6 figures in a year. That sells me, right? As a closer, like if I know you guys are getting results off of that information, right? Because that's the hardest thing about the info product space is it's not necessarily a done for you service. If you can have done for you stuff in your offer, great. But I need to see just off the information alone that if people are getting results, holy shit, just off the information. All right, damn, this person got a 7-figure award. I want a 7-figure award. I want a 6 figures in a month award. Put that back there on my bare ass wall, right? So big thing too with gear, you see the $47 general admission ticket and then the $97 VIP ticket. Most people are going to end up here and they'll see it most likely on day one because your 97 VIP ticket people, right? They're gonna have the mornings like mindset calls, mentality calls, and just go over all like what kind of person do you need to be mentality wise and the overall ambition yet you need to have to be successful in this space. Those do great. Those calls do great just because like you're priming people up more throughout the 5 days. But to be able to pretty much double your front end ticket price based off of those people seeing what other people are getting, if they don't do it right away, they're going to end up doing it, and providing that ability for them to upgrade within the program, right? Within the first day. Hey, by the way, guys, if you want this, you got to be VIP. Here's that link if you guys want to upgrade to VIP. Doing stuff like that. There's some other ways that we get people to go to the 97 VIP ticket because ultimately we want everyone to be 97 VIP. They get the morning mindset calls, they get the Q&A calls, and then they also get the actual coaching calls themselves, right? So they're really touched on, really loved on, and just a higher possibility of them being able to be overall converted at the end of the webinar. I gotta drink my little monster. So right, so from there, they've hit the landing page. They've either purchased VIP or they've purchased general admission. The automations will automatically, after they pay, they'll get their receipt. Congrats. Looking forward to having you. These are the dates again. In the meantime, make sure you get into this Telegram group. We have systems in terms of like our high level to see who joined the Telegram and who hasn't. So throughout those weeks leading up into the 5-day challenge or to the 5-day mentorship, we'll keep sending out those blasts to make sure everybody gets in there. And then a little sneak play too. If we really want to get a lot of people in there, we'll make sure that we just send out a mass blast and be like, hey, you've been selected for free. Hop on in just to get old leads out of the CRM and get them moving again. Get some type of activity out of them. Get them primed back up. Maybe we can get a close out of them. So all those leads brought to a ticket, then are put into a Telegram leading into the challenge. After they join, they are all given the instructions to change their Telegram tag name to their government name. This is huge. Everybody's got a nickname. If they're signing in with their real name and then they're putting in their nickname, you don't know who they are. So just tell them straight up, like, hey, we'll accept you once your government name's in there, because then compliance reasons over the course of the 5 days, it just makes it easier to see leads, their number, their email, some random nicknames that you're like, wait, is this person so and so or are they so and so? Like, I don't, that would create a massive amount of confusion, right? And then we have them post a video in the chat about who they are, and more so like introducing themselves. What this does is people are scared to get out of their comfort zone, right? To put in a video themselves talking about their dreams, their goals, their ambitions, who they are, what they've done. For most people, they don't want to do that, right? Especially being in a group of 700-800 people in a random Telegram that you're like just waiting on for it to start. You're gonna throw a video of yourself into it. That's very uncomfortable, right? But people do it, and we encourage them to do it. And then once one, two, three, five people do it, it sparks that domino effect of a multitude. Everybody else throughout there will be posting in their videos. It's creating a sense of movement. It's creating a cult like movement where people are going to do as you say, or want them to do. They're feeding into the overall objective and movement of what we got going on, right? So that's a huge piece. And then also like have them like type in their goals into the chat, what they were like hoping to get out of it, overall reason why they joined, everything like that. And then another key piece that's important that just left my mind. What was it? Came to my mind. So you can set up like Telegram automations too. And what it could do is like every so often throughout the day when like people join, it'll tag all those people in a text and put that message into the group chat and say, hey, welcome, so and so, so and so, so and so, so and so. Looking forward to seeing you and meeting you guys coming up here in the next few weeks, starting June, blah, 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 July, blah, 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 August, blah, blah, blah. Please make sure that you change your name to your legal government name. You submit a video, this and that. So just another retouch real quick. So, right, we've done all this. We've done this. Like I will say, guys, this is a course of 2, 3, 4 weeks sometimes where we're just pounding into this. We're giving this so much attention because we want to make it an event. It's lucrative. It's only for the few, right? It's for people that are taking action. And when we develop this type of atmosphere, it's not like people feel like they can just, oh, I could just hit them up when I'm ready. I could just, I could book a call at any time and, kind of learn a little bit more and see what their pricing is. And it's like, no, like if you want to get in with us, you got to go through this 5-day live mentorship. And we don't change the dates for you. These are the dates. Like if you want to join, join. If not, no problem. You go do your thing. We're going to go do ours. Right. And so it creates a little bit more sense of urgency to be compliant with our overall movement. All right. The fun part, the 5-day life challenge. I'm just briefly going to go over this, guys, just because like there's so much more to this in order to run a 5-day mentorship that converts and puts $800,000 cash collected into the offer owner's pocket. Like there's a lot of moving pieces. I mean, for me to collect 29 grand off of this webinar in the past 2 months is 3 months is like it's stupid, right? You gotta, but there's a lot of things that have to take place, and we have an amazing team to be able to do so, right? So day one, right? Confronting limiting beliefs. Confront all the reasons why they wouldn't do this. How the offer owner's methods not only confronts those reasons but makes them easy to bypass them. So right, so like one of the things that offer owners should do and should know of is like the top 5 to 10 reasons why people wouldn't do what they're doing. Right. So like let's say it's Amazon FBA. And I don't know why I keep referring to that. I've never been on an FBA offer. But let's say it's Amazon FBA, and one of the biggest reasons is, people don't have the funds in order to get the store up and running. Um, and so that's always been something that limits them. So one of the first things the offer owners can say, like, what's up, guys? Hey, like, put your names in the chat. Where are you guys from? Like, getting everybody conversating and talking. Then once he starts getting into actually speaking about it, getting into it, like one of the first things he's going to say, like, all right, guys, like with what I'm about to show you over the next 5 days is how to run an Amazon FBA store without pulling liquid or any type of money out of your savings account, actually using OPM, other people's money, in order or so that you're able to get this store up and running. People are like, oh, well, I don't have to use my money. That's always been something that stopped me. Okay, I'm listening now. Okay, let's say this, right? Time, right? People don't have the time to do it. Hey guys, so Over this next 5 days, I'm going to show you guys how to actually develop the right process. And I'm actually going to give you guys my system and process throughout these next 5 days to really limit the time that's already limited to you guys, to really only work on this 1 to 2 hours a day so that you can actually get this up and running. That was terrible, but you're going to say things that are going to confront those limiting beliefs of why they haven't done this in the past. Then if you're good at this shit and you're really good at speaking, drop the regular price of the mentorship, right? So you could straight up say like, hey, I'm really excited for everything. This is awesome. Like, I'm actually gonna be giving you guys like over the next 5 days. Y'all paid $47.97 to get into this room, right? Right. Type one in the chat if you level. I don't know, something like that. I'm gonna be giving you guys the entire blueprint, the entire system, the entire marketing plays, the exact A to Z process that I use, that I actually teach my students in my mentorship for $20,000. I'm going to give them all to you guys throughout the course of this week. And not only the information of what it is and how I do it, but the implementation and execution of how to do that by day, right? Y'all with me? Cool, cool, right? Saying things like that. So people are like, damn, this shit's 20 grand. Oh my God, right? This does a lot of things because after day one, people could be sold right there and then. They could see, or even after day two, like, damn, this is fire. Like, this is putting it all into perspective. Like, I really understand this now. Like, send me the link for 20 grand. Like, and I have screenshots of people saying like, oh man, their regular membership's only 20. Like, send me the link now. Like, I'm ready. Like, I want to do this. But the delivery is everything, right? Then you're going to cover topic one. So usually before day one, we're going to have the day before, and it's going to be typically on a Sunday. This will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The Sunday is just be like a touch day, like making sure everybody's got everything. But you'll cover topic one of what you want to teach on. Give those who attended homework. Now, the homework isn't like, I want you guys to find lenders. I want you guys to, it's not really actually like in the business model, right? The overall purpose of the homework is to spark more attention and to derive emotional appeal that they are in something exclusive and that they are action takers, that they are on the right journey, and they aren't making a mistake, right? So usually post something in the Telegram. Once I had X, then I would Y and Z. So we tell people, right, because we're a funding offer, we tell people don't use the words if. It's not if you're going to, right? Because we really do believe that we're going to help people, and we have such a strong damn offer that we do truly believe that we can get people funding, and they will learn how to get funding. Um, but usually post something in the Telegram that would be like this, right? Once I have $100,000 in funding, then I would buy the 10 rental cars that I want to get and be able to start producing $20,000 in profit with a overall revenue of $30,000-$40,000. And with that money, I would then pivot into a high yield savings to start putting away for my kids that are coming up in the future. Right. That's one piece of it. That's something that like someone would say. And then they'll also post a video of them saying it. Then we want to give them exclusive shout outs, stuff like that, post on Instagram story about it, right? So we'll have everyone on the Zoom take a picture of the offer owner, the overall meeting taking place, put it on their story, right? Because you think you get 800 people sharing this, right? We get a lot more people coming in just off of those stories that we do throughout the 5 days. But what it does is people start to have questions. What are you doing? Who's that? What's this all about? Right? We'll give out homework of like them creating a group chat with their family, being like, "Hey, no more bullshit. I'm not spending money on X, Y, and Z. I'm focusing on my goals." Like, you're guiding the person to become the future identity of what they want to become, right? Just like in a sales call, but the offer owner is guiding them and to think, act, feel, and be the person of their future identity. How would they talk? How would they move? How would they type? How would they overall make decisions? And we're putting them in a position where they are now that future identity. Stop making you have no correlation or connection to who you were when you first joined us. You are now the future identity. You need to act like it in order to achieve the results of that future person. Right. All right, keep moving. Day two, cover topic two, funding day. This is crucial. We are a funding offer, so this does a lot of things. For our offer, this makes sense because one, it shows that we can get people funding. And two, it shows that we know what we're doing, right? For a funding offer, we should know how to get people funding. But this is the biggest part right here, right? It also gives people a proof of concept showing them they do have the possibility to get anywhere from 10 to 90K in funding with our methods, right? Our saying is more so like showing people how to get 100 to 250K in funding. On the personal side, doing it on day two, like that's more so the range of what it's going to be. But you got to imagine, right? Imagine you come across this offer owner, you go through the full customer journey, purchase a $97 VIP ticket, you're in the room, you do your first call, second day comes around, and we're running through funding, we're doing it live. Now imagine you fill out the applications, you get your pre-approval, and then you go through with it, and holy shit, you get $50,000 approved from one of our lenders or one of the connections we know. That alone is an ROI. That's right. Like let me just break down the math of that. I had to pause it because I had to get my phone, my calculator. Right. So think you get $50,000 in funding that day, divided by the $97 ticket that you purchased. That's a 515x return on your investment. I think that's pretty good return on your investment, right? But here's the thing though, guys, is like this is very exclusive to BizOp offers. Like I don't see this being ran for fitness, and it probably never will be ran for fitness. It doesn't make sense. Um, and doesn't matter what kind of BizOp offer you have. If it's funding, if it's running a funding business, if it's being a coach or consultant, if it's an Amazon FBA store, if it's Turo, if it's a private rental car fleet, if it's laundromats, if it's buying small businesses, if it's SMMA, right? What do all of those things need? They need money. One, for your offer, two, for the marketing for what they're doing, three, for even getting the shit that you're offering them, the overall business and concept and the overall business model to get up and running. They need money, right? So if you guys can implement in on day two, right, of running your webinars, some type of overall funding method, overall showing them how to acquire the funds, right? Or really developing the connections for these people to go out and get money, and also understanding the requirements for them to get OPM, right? To set up a business entity, to set up an LLC, to set up an S corp, some type of business entity overall. Have good personal structure through across the three bureaus, and then go out and connect with those individuals or those banks that will give them money on the business side. You guys have anything like that in your offer? One, you're going to see your sales skyrocket because you could also use them to get people in. But two, right, you're going to have better results. You're going to have less people coming in spending their last dollar on your $10,000, $15,000 offer and not have the money to do anything else besides sit back and sit on a Zoom and learn. Right? That's nothing. That's just analysis paralysis where they have zero execution, right? Also, when pitch day comes, this is a huge part. They have the financial means necessary to get in if they didn't already. Some of these people will hop on. They don't have they're not in a good financial spot. If they get some type of funding, they'll hop on a call, close out, easy. Also, for those who didn't get funding, you think that'd be a bad thing, right? So a lot of people are going to get funding, a lot of people aren't, right? What for the people that aren't, it shows them that it's still that it is possible. It's not like others' fault for why they aren't getting funding. It's their fault. They're seeing everybody else get funding. Why aren't they? Right? It makes them take a step back and look at themselves. What are they doing? Right? Taking accountability. Makes them realize they need help with the foundation of things. Need to establish a good foundation so that they can go get that funding. And also see that works because others are getting funding. What I literally just said. On this particular challenge, we did do over 1 million in live funding, so that was fun. Cool. Day three, cover topic three, dive into their future identity even more. Who is that person? How do they talk? How do they walk talk? How do they make decisions, etc., etc. Right? We're really like this, guys. It's throughout all days, but you want to really hit that again. Maybe use a whole Zoom call for that. Cover topic 4, have them fill out an application page. All right, so now we're getting close to pitch day. Application page for the mentorship to see if they would be accepted. So you'll drop the link. You've really primed everybody up. And first things first, like you want to build this scarcity and urgency that this is a limited time offer. You haven't pitched a price yet, but these people are just going to see if they get accepted, right? And with our automations, everything, team looking it over, they'll fill out an application, and from there, what they'll do is we have templates, right? If they get accepted, which they will, what we'll do is we have templates for day 4 and we have templates for day 5. They're both a little different, but we'll have them screenshot it and put it in the Telegram chat. When people see that everyone else is getting accepted and those people that are a little bit on the fence, what do? All right. You see all your peers doing something. What are you going to do? You're gonna do what everyone else is doing for the most part, right? That's just human psychology, right? And so it gets those that are on the fence to fill that out and see that they get approved, and it builds like a sense of like, oh shit, oh, I really can do this, right? It just reaffirms people even more, right? I'll have them posted on in the Telegram chat to get more people to fill it out, and then also on their Instagram stories. Just building more hype, more cult-like following around this, and obviously no charge for filling out the application. Now, obviously, go over your mindset call, your morning call, your Q&A, overall coaching and everything on day 4 as well. Now, day 5. Cover topic 5, right? Same thing, mentality call in the morning, Q&A, all that. Nothing changes. All right, pitch day. $500 to reserve your spot in the mentorship, right? And what that's going to do is that's going to book their call. For them to go book a call and hop on with us, it's $500 to reserve their seat, so to speak. And so you can already see where between the $47, $97 general admission tickets, hopefully you've already broken even on your ad spend or even made money. Hopefully, right? If you're good at ads. Now, if not, you got to imagine, let's say 500 bucks. This is also where they're going to get pitched. They're going to know the full price. So they know the full price, and then they go to book their call, and it's $500 to reserve their seat. And with that $500, they still get value, right? They're still going to get the ability to get our lifetime access to our course that has all of our replays, all of our modules on how to do key certain things within our niche and within our business model. But then they're also going to get the top templates, documents, legality type of documents to keep them safe doing the business model, right? They're going to get some sort of value, right? But I want to break this down real quick, right? So say out of that 800 people, let's say you're pretty good at webinar selling and you are able to convert 30% of the room that day. That's 240 people, right? 240 people times 500 bucks. Just off of that, no one's in your mentorship yet. You've already made 120 grand. I'm pretty sure you've made, let's say no one joined your mentorship, right? This is just for the offer owner. Like the closers don't win off of this. Like you as a business owner, as an offer owner, you've made back your ad spend, you've signed people up, you've put yourself in a position where like, yeah, you've made your margin, you've made good money already. You've made 6 figures already within a couple days. Now, that was 240 people. So let's say of that 250 people, let's say another 50% close. This is just for numbers sake. 120, let's say times $10,000 offer. That's 1.2 mil. Right? We were projected to do 1.2. We did about overall now around 900. Came up shy. Can't be too mad about $900,000 in a week. Anyways, so that books their seat. They know the full price first. So these people are like, okay, cool. I know the price. I know $500 to reserve my seat. Now the offer, right? The offer is huge. If you're not building a sense of urgency, if you're not creating a limited time offer where you might take 2 of your offers, you might take like what we did. You might take a your $6,500 offer and your $10,000 offer. And if they purchase the two of them, that'd be 16,500. But for a webinar for this, for the people that joined, you're making it 8,500, and you only have 30 seats available. And the enrollment ends 3 days from now, or ends at the end of tomorrow for them to enroll to at least reserve their seat. On top of that, the first 5 people that pay in full get a MacBook, laptop, something like that, a phone, something like that. They also get a content day with the offer owner, and they get an in-person dinner with the owner. Right, your paid in full bonuses, first 5 people, and then the first 10 maybe get dinner, and then get something else. What you've done there is you've urged people to not only take action, but to take action now, for them to understand that this is not forever and they do need to make a decision right here, right now, and that they are being provided something of high value just for them in this group. And this is not something that we always do, right? And that it's limited. There's only 30 seats. It just puts people in a position where they got to move. They got to get off their ass. That's the reason why most people don't change, is they don't get off their ass, right? From there, book a call with Closer to handle the rest of the finances, payment plan. Klarna, Affirm, Zip, Afterpay, Cash App Pay, FlexBuy, Lightstream, Upgrade, Avant, Dover, Wings. There's a lot, right? So if they didn't get funding on day 2, this is like kind of the process. We'll go through that with them. And I think that's what, with my next video, I'm going to go over that a lot more. It's just kind of breaking down like what links to try for what amounts, their relationships with these people, and how to get someone paid in full, collect the most of the cash account up front, how to urge people to pay in full, everything like that, right? So what does that end up doing for us? You go through this whole process, projected 1.2 mil, we do 800, takes you all the way back around to here. And that's how we end up doing $813,000 in commissions, or in sales, right? So that's just a overall process. I see a lot of people doing webinars, doing live person events. Their webinars are a day, they're 2 days. Stop. You know, you're leaving so much money on the table because you don't have the skill set nor the capabilities to put a lot of people on your closers' calendars for them to close. So here's how I end this off, is like, if you're a closer, you guys, and you're either new to the space or you've been in the space for a while, the best way that I would go about finding an offer that would be good to work on is someone who does run webinars. We keep the calendars very light between webinars. I think it's still good to take calls, but you got to imagine, for all those people that didn't close, like, I'm still closing people from 3 months ago that were on that webinar. That's what this does. That's how powerful it is. And it shifts people's overall beliefs and views, not only on the world, but themselves, to do things like this, to save up the money, to go get the money, to maybe not have the resources, but to get resourceful so that they can do things like this. And when you do enough of these on a month to month basis, and you do collabs with other people in your niche, other big time offer owners, puts not only yourself as an offer owner, but you as a closer, right? Puts the closers in positions to like want to grow with the offer. They want to provide more. They want to take calls at 5 a.m., right? Because they're pretty much knockdown closes. Like that, like, it's the easiest sales calls I've ever done. And like, that's what I say, guys. Like, there's no objections on these calls. There's no battle with the prospect. The battle is logical, right? And so it's like, it is kind of princess closing in a way, because the offer owner has put us in a position for us to be able to do that. So that's all I really got for you guys today. I think over the next video, which is going to be kind of going over in depth the day to day as a closer on an offer like this, your scripts, your upsells, your downsells, how to collect the most up front, all different kinds of offers, things like that. Just the overall process as a closer on this. So yeah, appreciate you guys for watching, and hope to see you guys on the next one.